Welcome everyone to the Department of Justice Office of Justice Programs webinar on fiscal year 2019 CTAS overview. My name is Christina and I will be your moderator for today. It is my pleasure to turn things over to Eileen Gary, the CTAS coordinator.
Good afternoon everybody. My name is Eileen Gary. I am the coordinator of the CTAS program. I work in the Office of the Assistant Attorney General here at the Office of Justice Programs. We have over 200 attendees on the line today, and that's just terrific news. We take the feedback we get from tribal nations very seriously. You asked us to get the solicitation out before the Christmas holidays. We did so. We are committed to providing a series of these webinars to answer your questions and to ensure that you can submit a highly competitive application for review and consideration. Later on in the presentation, you'll see the dates for the forthcoming webinars, but there will be webinars that will deal specifically with budget questions, with how to access and use our online tool. There will be purpose area specific webinars hosted, and then an additional one really getting into detail on some budget issues. Those of you that are not new to CTAS that looked at the 2019 solicitation probably saw some significant differences from the 2018 and previous versions. You will notice the addition of a new purpose area 10, which will be discussed today, and also the creation of a specific resource guide so that the body of the solicitation is actually shorter in length and we refer you to a larger document with more specific details. The Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation here is really a coordinated effort among 5 agencies within the Department of Justice. And to that end today, I'm proud and pleased to introduce the 2 speakers that are going to be walking us through the PowerPoint presentation. First, we have Jessica Andrews. She has over 3 years of experience as a grants manager, grant program specialist with the Office on Victims of Crime, and she serves as the leader for CTAS Purpose Area 7. She's going to be joined today by Melissa Harrington, who is a lead grant program specialist at the COPS office, the Community Oriented Policing Services office. She serves as a lead for the CTAS program within the COPS office in the program development section. So we're going to go ahead. There's a lot of material to cover. We're going to get right into it, and I'm going to turn it over to Jessica.
Thank you, Eileen. As she said, my name is Jessica Andrew, and I'll be presenting with Melissa Harrington from the COPS office. We have some folks also from different program offices also in the room and on the phone. As a reminder, and as Eileen said, this is a general overview of CTAS. So over the next hour or so, we are going to discuss key information regarding the CTAS solicitation, the details of what is required in the application, and how to apply. In 2010, the Department of Justice launched the Coordinated Tribal Assistance Solicitation, also known as CTAS. And this was in direct response to concerns raised by tribal leaders regarding the department's grant process and how it did not provide a flexible opportunity for tribes to address the needs and address the criminal justice and public safety needs within their community. Through CTAS, federally recognized tribes and tribal consortia are able to submit one single application for most of the department's tribal justice grant programs. The department designed this comprehensive approach to save time and resources and to allow tribes and the department to gain a better understanding of the tribe's overall public safety needs. So what exactly is CTAS? Well, it is not a program, but an overarching structure in which the tribes can apply for up to 10 separate grant programs from 5 different program offices through one single application process. And again, by following this model, applicants have the opportunity to take that comprehensive and coordinated approach to address public safety and victimizations within their communities. At the end of the day, the question is always asked, well, what are the advantages of submitting one application? One budget detail worksheet is needed and required, and you're only required to use one system to submit your application. So rather than submitting applications through grants.gov and GMS and everything is just housed under one roof. CTAS also provides an opportunity for tribes and tribal consortia to engage in comprehensive planning and to be strategic about their requests for funding. Resources. Applicants have access to an abundance of resources to help guide them through the application process. One important resource is the DOJ Response Center, and they are available to answer all programmatic questions regarding the solicitation and purpose areas. And lastly, CTAS provides consistency. By using the strategic approach to applying for grants, the DOJ is better able to make award decisions to address tribal needs and on a more comprehensive basis. So I've mentioned the structure of CTAS, the advantages, and now I want to tell you about how it works. So CTAS is made up of 10 different purpose areas, like Eileen said. The applicants may apply for funding under the purpose area that best address their tribe's concerns related to public safety, criminal and juvenile justice, the needs of victims or survivors of domestic violence, child abuse, sexual assault, and other crimes. So applicants may apply for as many purpose areas as needed to address the concerns within their community. These focus areas or purpose areas include enhancing law enforcement, strengthening the justice system, preventing and controlling juvenile delinquency, strengthening the juvenile justice system, improving the investigation and prosecution of child abuse cases, and addressing the needs of survivors of domestic violence, sexual assault, and other crimes. So which DOJ components are involved in CTAS? Well, each purpose area is managed by a specific DOJ component. So we have the Office of Community-Oriented Policing Services, also known as the COPS Office, the Office on Violence Against Women, and then we have Office of Justice Programs, which houses 3 different components. You have the Bureau of Justice Assistance, BJA, Office for Victims of Crime, OVC, and then the Office of Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention, OJJVP. And for more information about each component, there is a link on the screen that you can click to learn more. And so again, these 5 different program offices, as I just mentioned, manage 10 different purpose areas that fall under CTAS. Those purpose areas are highlighted on the screen, and we will go into more detail in just a second. So I just went over a general overview of CTAS, the structure, the DOJ components that manage each of the 10 purpose areas. And now I want to take a moment to review each purpose area that falls under CTAS. For each purpose area, I will go over their overarching goals and provide examples of either allowable activities or eligible expenses. But please note that I'm not providing an exhaustive list of allowable items. I am merely giving some examples to help folks start thinking about how they can best address the concerns within their communities. And again, I just want to reiterate that each program office will host a webinar specific to their purpose area. So if you want to know more about a specific subject or a purpose area, I highly recommend looking at the webinar list. So first up, we have the COPS office. The COPS office oversees Purpose Area 1, which is the Public Safety and Community Policing Program. The goal of Purpose Area 1 is to address the most serious law enforcement needs in the tribal nations and to implement or to enhance community policing strategies. Applicants can request funding for hiring, training, equipment to advance community policing and to help address the public safety concerns within their communities. Purpose Area 1 funding may support a broad range of costs, such as equipment, technology, overtime, travel and training, anti-meth and anti-opioid activities, and career law enforcement officers, including village public safety officers. As you can see, this is a very broad range list. And for a complete list of allowable costs and activities under Purpose Area 1, please see the COPS 2019 allowable and unallowable cost list. This list can be found on the Tribal Justice website and also found on the COPS website. And lastly, I just want to mention that the COPS office anticipates awarding approximately $20 million to up to 50 awards. Due to the limited funding available, applicants are restricted to funding based on the following parameters. Sworn officers of 1 to 5 officers can request no more than $300,000. Sworn officers of 10 to 19 officers, no more than $500,000. And sworn officers of more than 20 or more, no more than $800,000. Purpose Area 2 is called the Comprehensive Tribal Justice System Strategic Planning Program. It is a collaborative effort among all 5 DOJ components. However, it is overseen by BJA. While other purpose areas may focus on a particular area of public safety or justice, the Purpose Area 2 is a broad assessment of the tribe's current justice system, and to then they produce a comprehensive plan to further develop and enhance a justice system. So awardees under Purpose Area 2, they are to develop and submit an approved strategic plan. Once the strategic plan is approved, they will receive priority consideration for CTAS funding to implement a strategic plan as a whole or for the portion of which they submitted an application for. Under Purpose Area 2, funded projects may support a full-time project manager to facilitate the planning process, office supplies to run the program, or contractors to support the data collection, including research partners. The CTAS committee anticipates making up to $750,000 available through this purpose area, awarding up to 5 applications of up to $150,000 per award. PJA also oversees Purpose Area 3, which is the Tribal Justice Systems Program. Purpose Area 3 encompasses both the Tribal Court Assistance Program and the Indian Alcohol and Substance Abuse Program. Projects funded under this purpose area can be used to address alcohol and substance abuse and other crimes through the implementation of tribal justice programs. Under Purpose Area 3, funds may support activities such as the creation of a new or enhancement of an existing tribal court, conducting a risk assessment or a needs assessment, support the reentry or prevention program, or diversion of alternatives to incarceration. BJA anticipates making over $16 million available through this purpose area and will be awarding up to 30 applications for approximately $250,000 to $750,000 per award. Moving on, we also have Purpose Area 4, the Tribal Justice Infrastructure Program, which is also managed by BJA. The goal of this purpose area is to assist tribes with building or enhancing the tribal justice system. Funds may support renovation and or the expansion of existing facilities or the establishment of prefabricated or permanent modular homes to be served as correctional facilities, correctional alternatives, treatment facilities, multi-purpose justice centers, and transitional living facilities. Additionally, funds can be used to renovate a correctional facility that is no longer considered safe or secure and to serve as a detention facility. Please note that funds cannot be used to support the new construction of projects. Examples of different PA-funded projects are on the screen. BJA anticipates making over $7 million available through this purpose area, awarding up to 8 applications for approximately $1 million each. The Office for Violence Against Women manages Purpose Area 5, the Tribal Governance Program. So Purpose Area 5 focuses on decreasing the number of violent crimes, such as sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, and stalking, committed against women and girls. This year, OVW is interested in supporting the priority areas identified on the screen. Applicants proposing activities in the following areas will be given special consideration: substance abuse professionals in the coordination of community response to volatile crimes and increased victim access of substance abuse services, reduce violent crimes against women and to promote victim safety, increase response to victims of sex trafficking, and increase efforts to combating stalking. And on the screen, you have some examples of different PA5 funded grant programs and or activities. These include the Batterers Intervention Program, Transitional Housing, Supervised Visitation, Children and Youth, hiring a law enforcement agent, judges, prosecutors, etc., to provide a coordinating community response. OVW anticipates making over $34 million available through this purpose area, awarding up to 55 applications for up to $450,000 for new awards and up to $900,000 for continuation awards. Now we have the Office for Victims of Crime. They oversee Purpose Area 6, the Children's Justice Act Partnership for Indian Communities. The goal of PA6 is to develop, establish, and operate programs that provide a comprehensive and coordinated multidisciplinary response to child abuse victims and their families, and to provide trauma-informed, culturally confident, holistic services to child abuse victims and their families. Please note that due to the limited amount of funding available under Purpose Area 6, applications that focus on criminal investigation and criminal prosecution of child abuse and neglect, especially those that address child abuse, will receive priority consideration. Purpose Area 6 focuses on prosecution investigation, as I said. Some examples of different CJA-funded projects would be a child forensic interviewer, a pediatric sexual assault nurse examiner, a SANE nurse, an investigator or a prosecutor to address special crimes against children, and a child advocacy center. This year, OVC expects to make up to 6 applicants, or award up to 6 applications for approximately $450,000 per award. Again, applications focused on criminal investigation and prosecution of child abuse and neglect will receive priority consideration. If you are considering applying for Purpose Area 6, but your proposal does not include prosecution or investigation, OVC highly recommends that you consider applying under Purpose Area 7. Speaking of Purpose Area 7, OVC also oversees this program. Purpose Area 7 was previously known as the Comprehensive Tribal Victim Assistance Program, or CTAS. For this solicitation, Purpose Area 7 will be known as the Tribal Victim Service Program. Again, the title has changed. However, the overall goal of the program is somewhat similar, and it provides support to tribes to improve services for victims of crime. And similar to CTVA, the Tribal Victim Service Program is soliciting applications for funding to support a range of activities, including needs assessment, strategic planning, program development and implementation, program expansions, and other activities to address victim service needs of a tribe. On the screen, we have a broad range of projects that can be funded under Purpose Area 7. Some examples of different grant-funded programs would be a sexual assault program, domestic violence shelter, victim assistance, supporting elders and vulnerable adults, teen dating violence, and CACs, or child advocacy centers. And of course, this is not an exhaustive list. For a comprehensive list of allowable and unallowable programs and activities, please click on the link on the screen or review the CTAS solicitation. I do want to mention on the screen that you will notice that we do not have a set number of applications that will be funded under Purpose Area 7. This is because funding is dependent on the approval of the budget. The OVC may award up to 25 applications or up to 200. We just are not sure yet. But please know that each applicant can request a max of $500,000 per award. The Office for Juvenile Justice and Delinquency Prevention oversees Purpose Area 8, Juvenile Tribal Healing and Wellness Courts Program. The overall goal of this program is to enhance the capacity of tribes and their courts to respond to the alcohol-related issues of youth under the age of 21. Some examples of different projects funded under Purpose Area 7 would include developing a JHTW course that promotes physical and spiritual healing, utilizing a holistic and traditional and community-wide response approach, building capacity for the tribes to implement evidence-based substance abuse interventions and prevention strategies with courts involved with youth. Development of a 11-member intertribal court would also be a project as well. OJJDP anticipates making $1.7 million available to the Purpose Area, awarding up to 5 applications for around $350,000 per award. OJJDP also manages Purpose Area 9, the Tribal Youth Program. Purpose Area 9 funds are used to support and enhance tribal efforts to prevent and control juvenile delinquency and strengthen the juvenile justice system for American Indian and Alaska Native youth. There are a variety of priority areas, including prevention, intervention, treatment associated with this purpose area. It is recommended that tribes choose no more than one area in which to concentrate their proposal on. Some examples of different projects funded under Purpose Area 9 would be an after-school program, a diversion program, a truancy prevention and intervention, treatment services for children exposed to violence, and the tribal's best practices in traditional healing to support youth. OJJDP anticipates making up to $7.8 million available through this purpose area and awarding up to 9 applications for up to $400,000 per award. And lastly, we have our newest addition to CTAS. As Eileen said, we have Purpose Area 10. Purpose Area 10 is addressing violent crimes in tribal communities and is managed by DJA. The overall goal of Purpose Area 10 is to provide funding to address violent crimes, specifically to address the increase in violence and other serious crimes. This includes combating, addressing, and otherwise responding to the extraordinary increases in crimes or in a type of crime at the tribal level, especially violent crimes, with strategies that enhance capacity to track, identify, and quickly respond to those crime issues. Applications can include crimes mainly addressed by the Office on Violence Against Women listed on the screen, but these cases cannot exceed 49% of the caseload. For projects that are focused more than 50% of these crimes, please consider applying for OVW's Purpose Area 5. So I just threw a lot of information at everybody. If you are interested in learning about a specific purpose area or want to know more about the allowable expenses under each purpose area, I highly recommend that folks tune into the purpose area specific webinars that are going to be held in January. I know I said it before, but I just want to stress the importance of it. Information on those webinars are going to be on the Tribal Justice website and at the end of this presentation. So I will now pass the mic over to my colleague Melissa, who will discuss the application requirements.
Thank you, Jessica. CTAS opened on November 27th, 2018, and we closed on February 26th, 2019, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Applicants who do not have access to the internet, please contact the DOJ Response Center no later than Friday, January 25th, 2019. The DOJ Response Center number is 1-800-421-6770. The solicitation contains details about available grants and describes how federally recognized tribes, including Alaska Native villages, tribal consortia, and eligible tribal designees can apply for the funds. When will the awards be announced? DOJ expects to award grants no later than September 30th, and project start dates should be on or after October 1st of 2019. Where can I find the solicitation and CTAS-related materials? To view the CTAS-related materials, please visit the main page, www.justice.gov, Tribal Open Solicitations, or https://grants.ojp.usdoj.gov. The 2019 U.S. Department of Justice CTAS Application Resource Guide provides guidance to assist CTAS grant applicants in preparing and submitting applications for CTAS funding, and to inform potential CTAS applicants making the decision whether or not to apply for funding. It addresses a variety of policies and regulations that apply to many, or in some cases all. So please look for the CTAS Resource Guide as well as the solicitation, and other helpful tools on our website would be the supplanting guidelines, legal documents, and the two critical application document pieces, the purpose area narrative abstract template and the tribal justice narrative profile template. The CTAS committee has streamlined and restructured the fiscal year 2019 solicitation and has created a separate tool to help guide applicants through the application process, and that is called the Resource Guide. Again, the Resource Guide will serve as the primary reference manual to assist CTAS applicants in preparing and submitting applications. What is the benefit of this guide? It reduces the bulk of the solicitation and moves the majority of the static template language, such as policies and regulations, to a separate document. Who's eligible to apply under CTAS 2019? Each purpose area may have different eligibility requirements. In general, the following applicants are eligible to apply: federally recognized tribes, as determined by the Secretary of the Interior, Alaska Native villages and corporations, tribal consortium consisting of 2 or more federally recognized tribes. Tribal designees are also eligible, but only under purpose areas 5, 6, and 7. Please check the solicitation and also the resource guide for further information on eligibility for each purpose area. Additional eligibility requirements: under Public Safety and Community Policing, Purpose Area 1, the COPS office, applicants must have an established law enforcement agency that is operational as of February 26, 2019, which is the closing date of this application, or receive services through a new or existing contract for law enforcement services within the Bureau of Indian Affairs or a state or local agency. Under the Tribal Governments Program, Purpose Area 5, OVW, tribal designees are eligible participants. Fiscal year 2018 Tribal Governments Program Purpose Area 5 awardees are not eligible to apply for CTAS Fiscal year 19 Tribal Governments Program funding. Fiscal year 16 or earlier Tribal Government Programs Purpose Area 5 awardees are generally eligible depending on the remaining balances of existing awards. Please see the CTAS solicitation again for additional eligibility information under Purpose Area 5. Under Children's Justice Act Partnerships for Indian Communities, Purpose Area 6, OVC, tribal designees are eligible participants and must provide a tribal resolution or other satisfactory of legal enactment from the tribe as part of their application. If the applicant received Purpose Area 6 funding in fiscal year 17 or fiscal year 2018, the applicant is not eligible to receive Purpose Area 6 funding in fiscal year 2019, but would be eligible to do so in fiscal year 2020. Under the Tribal Victim Services Program, Purpose Area 7, OVC, tribal designees are eligible participants and must provide a tribal resolution or other satisfactory of legal enactment from the tribe as part of the application. Applicants that applied for victim service programs through the fiscal year 2018 Tribal Victim Services Set-Aside Program, or CTAS Purpose Areas 5, 6, and or 7, are eligible to apply for this purpose area. Please note the request for funding must be different and distinct from the activities and expenses funded in applicants' previous CTAS or Tribal Victim Services Set-Aside Program grants. Under Addressing Violent Crime in Tribal Communities, Purpose Area 10, BJA, applications must include a signed letter of support from or memo of understanding with the U.S. Attorney's Office in their district, showing that the project will be coordinated with the U.S. Attorney's Office. Again, please review the resource guide and its solicitation for eligibility and further applicant information. The actual application itself must include the following elements. First is the Tribal Community and Justice Profile, which makes up 30% of the application score. A purpose area narrative for each purpose area for which the applicant is applying. 55% of the narrative score is that. The budget detail worksheet and narrative, which makes up 15% of the application score, is also required. For Purpose Area 1 applicants, you also have to fill out the demographic form, and that only applies to Purpose Area 1. Tribal Community and Justice Profile is designed to enable a tribe to describe its community, strengths, resources, challenges, and needs, and the narratives will be reviewed and evaluated based on the responses that you provide regarding the specific questions that are found in each of the narratives. Additionally, applications should include a project abstract, the tribal authority to apply, and regarding the tribal authority to apply, applicants may submit a resolution, letter, affidavit, or other documentation as appropriate for that tribe, certifying that the applicant has the legal authority to apply for CTAS awards on behalf of the tribe. The documentation must be current, must be sufficient to demonstrate authority for the application, must contain authorized signatures, and be submitted by the application due date, again, February 26, 2019. Additionally, other elements that are included in your submission should be the application disclosure of high-risk status, application disclosure of pending applications, the disclosure of lobbying activities, indirect cost rate agreement, financial management and system of internal controls questionnaire for any applicant requesting funding except for Purpose Area 1, and other attachments as needed. Again, please review each purpose area throughout the solicitation and each specific application requirement by purpose area. Additionally, all applicants should complete the following steps in this order. Acquire a Data Universal Numbering System, the DUNS number. If anyone needs it, the Duns & Bradstreet number can be reached at 1-866-705-5711. Acquire or renew registration with the System for Award Management, the SAM database, well in advance of applying. Acquire a GMS username and password. Verify the SAM registration in GMS. Search for the funding opportunity in GMS. Register by selecting the Apply Online button associated with the solicitation title. An application consistent with this solicitation by following the directions in GMS. The DOJ has a dedicated website for up-to-date information regarding the CTAS solicitation. This includes information on upcoming webinars, access to purpose area fact sheets, solicitation, templates, samples of successful applications, our resource guide. So please visit the DOJ's dedicated CTAS website for the most updated information, which is www.justice.gov/tribal. Webinars, today is our first one, but they continue throughout the solicitation period. Currently on our home pages, we have all the application materials except the frequently asked questions will be available in the near future. We also have prior year solicitations and sample success applications for you to also review if interested. Also on our Tribal Justice website, we have the CTAS online guide. We created an online guide that will help you think through and prepare in all these areas of planning your program and your proposal, including an entire section on budget. We encourage you to use the guide for more in-depth detail on what we've briefly gone over here. Each section is rich with information, interactive, and includes downloadable worksheets and tools to help you put together your best proposal. This online guide is not a requirement for getting funding, and using it will not directly increase your likelihood of getting funding, but we in the CTAS committee has poured a lot of knowledge and resources into it, and we hope you find it helpful and useful. To access the online guide, please visit www.justice.gov/tribal/grant. Information about CTAS, including solicitation announcements and trainings and technical assistance opportunities, again, can be found on our DOJ's tribal website, which is www.justice.gov/tribal. We have a dedicated DOJ response center that handles programmatic questions. They're open Monday through Friday, 9 to 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You may call them at 1-800-421-6770 or email at tribalgrants@usdoj.gov. Please sign up for email updates when we're open, again, for webinar announcements or training opportunities at www.justice.gov/tribal. If you go to the open solicitation page on the website and select training and technical assistance, you can sign up for email notifications regarding solicitations and webinars, more information to help you prepare. You're participating in the first webinar today, but next week we'll have another one, the budget development overview, and there will be also webinars for each of the purpose areas as well. So please sign up for as many as you would like, again, at www.justice.gov/tribal. And these webinars are designed to help walk you through the process and walk you through the CTAS application requirements. If you're interested in becoming a peer reviewer for the CTAS solicitation, OJP is currently seeking peer reviewers to assess the CTAS grant applications. Reviewers should have relevant experience and expertise related to either public safety, criminal and juvenile justice, or relevant crime victimization. What's involved? You participate remotely as a peer reviewer. You review and score about 5 to 15 applications within a 2-week period. You participate in an orientation call before beginning your review, and you're actually paid $125 for each application reviewed. If you're interested in becoming a peer reviewer, please submit an up-to-date resume or curriculum vitae, including a valid email address to ojpprsupport@usdoj.gov. Each component will use either internal and/or external or a combination of peer reviewers to review the applications under the solicitation. An external peer reviewer is an expert in the field of the subject matter of a given grant program who is not a current federal employee. An internal reviewer is a current federal employee who is well-versed or has experience in the subject matter of the particular grant program. OJP is currently seeking external peer reviewers to assess grant applications. Again, if you're interested in becoming one, please submit your up-to-date resume or other information about yourself to that email address listed. Additionally, tribal consortia and eligible tribal designees may also be eligible for non-tribal federal grant programs and are encouraged to explore other funding opportunities, which may be found at DOJ's Tribal Justice and Safety website or www.grants.gov website. Our DOJ Tribal Justice website, again, is listed here at www.justice.gov/tribal open solicitations. We also have the DOJ Grants Financial Guide to assist awardees, the Grants Management System, and also the Grants Payment Request System. These websites are available for you for further research and further guidance. As you start reviewing and working on your CTAS applications, if you have questions regarding the GMS system itself, the actual system that you submit your application through, if you need any technical assistance, you will contact the GMS help desk by using the 1-800 number, which is 1-888-549-9901, or you can email the GMS support hotline at gmshelpdesk@usdoj.gov. The GMS support hotline is open Monday through Friday from 6 a.m. to midnight Eastern Standard Time. But for programmatic questions or general assistance or any solicitation requirement, non-technical questions, again, you may contact the DOJ Response Center at 1-800-421-6770 or email the Response Center at tribalgrants@usdoj.gov. Again, they're open from Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. Again, any questions that you have about the Solicitation 2019, please contact the DOJ Response Center at tribalgrants@usdoj.gov or call at 1-800-421-6770. If they can't answer your question, you will be directed to any of the purpose area points of contact as well. We're all definitely here to help. We wish you success, and we will open the floor up for questions.
Great, thank you. The first question that we have is, if we have been awarded a Purpose Area 3 grant previously, can we apply for another Purpose Area 3 grant for a different project this cycle? Or do we have to wait until the current Purpose Area 3 grant award is closed out?
Hi, this is Trish Thaxton from BJA, and the answer to that is you absolutely can apply for another Purpose Area 3 award for a different project while you currently have an open award with BJA. Just be aware if for some reason you have not been spending the funding as you had indicated you would be in your initial application, then that could have a negative impact on the review of your new application. For example, if you had a $500,000 award that you anticipated spending about $230,000 a year on, and it's been open for 3 years and you've only spent $100,000 and have not been successfully moving forward with that project, then that could have a negative impact on the review of a new award. But as long as you're successfully moving forward with a project and it's spending down the money as planned, then there's not going to be any negative consequence in applying for another award while you have one open.
Great, thank you. The next question is for Purpose Area 1. As a regional Native organization serving and representing 10 federally recognized tribes, would we need tribal resolutions, or would letters of support be adequate to show authority to apply for CTAS on behalf of the tribes?
I think either way, submit what you can, and if we need additional information, we'll contact you. Instructions and information about what's considered a tribal authority is found in our solicitation, but either way. If it's not enough, you'll be contacted for additional information.
Thank you. The next question is, I missed the information on supplantation. Could you please restate the information on supplantation? Thank you.
All right, this is Bill Faith from the COPS office. Supplanting is discussed in the solicitation on page 12 and is a brief overview of it. Generally, DOJ funds must be used to supplement existing funds for program activities and may not replace any funding that you have already been approved for, appropriated. So read over the supplanting in the solicitation on page 12, and if you have any more questions, certainly reach out to the DOJ Response Center.
Great, thank you. The next question is, I'm having a hard time locating the demographics and budget form. I couldn't find that on the CTAS webpage links on forms and templates. Can you please clarify?
Yeah, the budget worksheet is traditionally in the GMS system. We don't have it as a template on their homepage. So you would go into the GMS system to access the budget Excel worksheet. And when you go into it, the demographic form is part of the budget worksheet, and it's only for Purpose Area 1 applicants. But you have to access it through the GMS system.
Thank you. And the next question is, how are requirements different for a regional tribal organization serving multiple communities than for a local tribe application?
This is Julius Dupree with BJA. For Purpose Area 4, we accept applications for both single jurisdiction and regional efforts. And actually, the way we distinguish both is one tribe, then that's considered single jurisdiction. Anything more than one tribe would be considered regional for our definition.
Thank you. And the next question is, it appears that at least one linked document on the webinar list was updated and replaced since the first time we downloaded it after the NOFA was released. Is there any way to attach dates or version numbers when this happens so that applicants have a way of knowing when guidance documents or a form has changed?
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate that question. And you're correct. The webinar list was updated with a corrected version. In the first version, the webinars for Purpose Area 6 and Purpose Area 7 were unfortunately juxtaposed. So we did contact the people who had registered for those webinars directly, and then we did replace it with the corrected version. Appreciate your suggestion there, and we will do that in the future.
Thank you. And the next question is, for Purpose Area number 1, can we partner with a municipality or city that provides our police services?
Sure.
Thank you. Our next question is, for Purpose Area number 5, awards from our FY 2016 or earlier are eligible. Our current award number starts with 2016. Does that mean we're a 2016 grantee and we are eligible to apply for this, for the solicitation?
It does mean that you are a 2016 grantee. I can't say for certain if you are eligible to apply. Generally you are, but if your application came in, we would look at how much money is left on your current 2016 award, and if it's 50% or more, you're not going to be eligible. We wouldn't even consider your application.
Thank you. And the next question is regarding Purpose Areas 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Does a PL 638 ambulatory clinic qualify to apply?
This is Kara McDonough from OJJDP. For Purpose Areas 8 and 9, the applicants that are eligible are the tribe itself. So the only eligible applicants would be the Navajo Nation tribe. So we basically ask that you coordinate at your tribal level to apply for the different purpose areas. As a clinic, you would not be able to submit a different application than the Navajo tribe submitted.
Purpose Area 10 as well.
For Purpose Areas 6 and 7, you can apply, but you need to submit a tribal resolution or other legal documentation from Navajo Nation saying that they authorize you to apply as their designee.
For Purpose Area 5, it would be the same thing. You would have to, the tribe is eligible. You could be eligible if you're a designee that's designated by the tribe, but we would need to see what that paperwork looks like.
So if there are follow-up questions that you wanted to clarify that come from that, you can definitely write to the response center and give as much specific detail that you would like in order to get yourself the best possible specific answer.
Thank you. And the next question is under Purpose Area 1. If I'm a tribal department and providing policing for a non-tribal community, does this exclude me from awards since a portion is off reservation?
No, it does not exclude you from awards.
Thank you.
A few reminders that I think will be helpful to you all. When you're uploading your attachments, please make sure that you give clear file names. So if we're asking for a tribal resolution, that's what the file name needs to be. If we're asking for a budget, it needs to clearly say FY19 budget. This helps us when we're doing BMR so we don't accidentally eliminate you for something that may be there. So just please make sure that the file names match up to the names in the documents that we are requesting in the solicitation and what a specific office may be requesting. In addition, I would say you want to register for GMS as early as possible. We tell applicants 2 weeks at the latest. So February 12th, keep that date in mind. Also for your tribal resolutions, you want to make sure that they're complete. It's just not enough to turn one in. It needs to reference the year in which you're applying. It needs to be signed, and it also needs to be dated.
We do have another question for Purpose Area 1. Do you consider tribal natural resources wardens as law enforcement agency?
Yes, and we have in the near future frequently asked questions, which will be posted on our website, and I believe one of those questions addresses Conservation Department. And while I have the floor, I think we had a slight error in our instructor notes. I just wanted to reiterate how much COPS Purpose Area 1 awardees are eligible. If you have a sworn force of fewer than 10, not 5, which was, I think, an incorrect statement from an older presentation. So let me just reiterate that you are eligible for up to $300,000 if you have a sworn force of fewer than 10. If you have a sworn force of 10, but no less than 20, you're eligible for up to $500,000. And if you have a sworn force of 20 or more, you're eligible for no more than $800,000.
Thank you. We have another question for Purpose Area 1. Will there be a timeline template available? If there is already, where is this located?
Sure. This year, once you start reading through the solicitation, the timeline document is actually no longer needed as a separate standalone document. We are going to address the timeline question, Purpose Area narrative. So the timeline for Purpose Area 1 question can be found in the narrative. It's actually question number 4 in our Purpose Area 1 narrative. So you can adjust the timeline pieces in your Purpose Area 1 narrative.
Thank you.
I would also say the solicitation says get your application in 72 hours in advance if all possible. I'm going to encourage everyone who's interested in submitting one to do it a week beforehand. Technology is a wonderful thing, but when hundreds of people are trying to get things in on the last day at the last minute, there can be all kinds of problems. So I encourage you to get that in beforehand. That way you don't run the risk of rushing and leaving out important documents or not doing as good of a job as you would like. This year, there's something new set up in GMS. In the past years, the budget, purpose area narrative, and tribal community and justice profile have been required documents. They still are required. And if you were missing any of those, you wouldn't go to BMR. We built in a self-check in GMS. And what will happen is when you get to the end, if you haven't attached those documents, you won't be able to submit. So that is one of the things we've done to help you out. And it will recognize. So if you're applying for 3 purpose areas and you've only submitted 1 purpose area narrative, and you've submitted a budget and you've submitted the tribal and community justice profile, it still won't let you go forward if 3 purpose area specific narratives are not there. So you just want to make sure that, the system will remind you, but you want to make sure that that's a check for yourself.
And we do have another question, and this is for purpose area number 7. If we are currently in the process of applying for victim services set aside, are we eligible to apply for purpose area 7?
Yes, you are eligible to apply, but you have to request expenses that are not currently being reviewed during your Phase 2 application. If you have any questions, additional questions about that, you can also submit your questions to OVC Tribal Set-Aside at ojp.usdoj.gov. And again, if you have any questions about your OVC Tribal Set-Aside application, you should submit your questions to OVC Tribal Set-Aside at ojp.usdoj.gov.
Thank you.
So we're going to throw out more helpful information. In the PowerPoint slides, it was referenced for peer reviewers as it relates to OJP. For COPS and OVW, if you're interested in being a peer reviewer, contact the response center at tribalgrants@usdoj.gov, and they have a contact list of specific POCs for each office, and they will make sure that your request gets to the appropriate POC. I also know that there's some confusion about what BMR is, and that's our basic minimum requirements. So when your application comes in, we have a set of things that we look at. We are looking to see if your tribal resolution is in there. We're looking to see if you're actually a federally recognized tribe or designee. We're also looking to make sure that the 3 required documents are in there: a purpose area narrative for each purpose area you're applying to, budget, and then also a tribal community and justice profile. If any of those things are missing, you will not move forward, and you will be contacted early on that your application did not move forward because you were missing a critical piece.
Thank you.
We had our CTAS orientation last week, and there were some questions that popped up there that I think would be helpful here as well to kind of throw out some of those answers. So we've changed the solicitation quite a bit, and there has been some new purpose areas added. And I know some folks are wondering, when there's purpose areas where you can apply for the same thing in multiple, what approaches do you take? I'll give you a suggestion or a strategy or a way to think about it. So for OVW, Tribal Governments Program, which is Purpose Area 5, sexual assault, domestic violence, dating violence, stalking, and sex trafficking, and to include things like prosecution, law enforcement, and those types of things, and victim services. But it's very specific to our 5 crimes. OVC, Purpose Area number 7, and then certain things under Purpose Area 10, you have more flexibility. So I would say if you're torn, I would focus your OVW funding on the things that you can only do for OVW that you're limited to under there, and then consider the other purpose areas for those other things where it's a little bit more free reign.
Okay, and we do have an additional question, and this is for Purpose Area 1. When applying for Purpose Area 1, do the caps include current sworn police officers plus officers included in the proposed application? For example, we currently have 7 officers and would like to propose to hire 3 more. Are we capped for $300,000 or $500,000?
You'll be capped at $300,000. We're looking at your 7 sworn force level only. So your current sworn force level, not what you might get if awarded.
Thank you. Here's another question. What purpose area is new courts under?
This is Jerome Boyd with OJJDP, and we have Purpose Area 8, which is the Juvenile Justice Healing to Wellness Court. But it's not classified as new courts. It does say that you have to be operating a new court, but it's the Juvenile Justice Healing to Wellness Court.
Under BJA's Purpose Area 3, you can apply to establish a new court, or if you're looking to establish a Healing to Wellness Court, that's also allowable under Purpose Area 3, and that would be more focused generally on the adult justice system.
And as it relates to Purpose Area 4, we do provide funding for renovation, expansion, or replacement of existing court facilities. So if you're looking to do some work around, maybe if you have a building and you're within your reservation that you want to renovate to serve as a court, or if you have an existing court that you want to renovate, then Purpose Area 4 would be for that. But Purpose Area 3 is more of the programming piece as Trish talked about. So we just wanted to kind of differentiate how the different resources are complementary with each other.
Thank you. And we do have another question. If we had a juvenile traditional wellness court a few years ago, but it is no longer funded, will this fall under the new court?
So this is Jerome Boyd. I'll answer for Purpose Area 8, OJJDP. For this solicitation, it has to be a new court and not currently funded. So if you are not currently funded with OJGDP funds under Purpose Area 8, you will be eligible to apply.
Thank you.
There's going to be a whole webinar on budgets, but I will say two very quick things that are very common. When you're doing your budget, please make sure that you list a POC that actually knows the budget, that has worked on it, either the person that's doing it or co-worked on it. Make sure that that's there, and make sure that the tribe name is listed in the budget as well. For your main point of contact for your application, we know that turnover can be very high sometimes, and sometimes folks leave later on. If you know that someone leaves and they're listed as a POC on your application and they leave like a month or two after you've turned it in, please notify us. And you can do that by contacting the response center, and they will reach out to us, and then each purpose area will be notified of that updated information. The other thing I would emphasize too, I know that CTAS has been around, but I want everyone to understand that each program and each office has its own identity, and CTAS itself is not actually a program. It's just an umbrella and a structure in which 10 separate programs function. So each purpose area has an actual program-specific name. So when you're calling into your offices, it would probably be really good to remember the actual program name, because not every staff person is as familiar with CTAS, but they will know the program name in their office. Templates and abstracts are also very important. For example, the purpose area narrative template and the abstract templates, you do not have to follow what we put in there, but we strongly encourage you to do so. If you're going to deviate from the narrative template, just make sure whatever format you come up with, you address every single question that we ask in the template. And for the abstracts, a lot of us this year have we've given instructions, but we've also gone one step further and actually giving you the verbiage where literally all you have to do is plug in keywords. And again, we would encourage you to do that. It's both helpful on our end, and it makes your life easier as well.
Can you please clarify the due date of the CTAS applications?
February 26th, 2019.
9 p.m. And I will go ahead and take the opportunity to say this too. Sometimes technical situations or natural disasters and things pop up. If you are having any kind of technical problem, you are to contact GMS Support Desk. The information's in the solicitation. Then you are also to contact the response center. They're going to tell you either at the beginning or before they get off of the phone with you to email your application. Even if they're able to resolve the problem, they're going to tell you to email your application. Before you do anything else, you make sure that you follow that instruction and you email your entire application. And if it's so many files that you need to break it up, example, you can say your application 2019 part 1, part 2, part 3, just be very clear, but make sure that you get that emailed in immediately. That should be the first thing you do.
All right. Thank you. A list of the future webinar sessions can be accessed at www.justice.gov/travel/grants and is located under the open solicitation section. Thank you everyone for joining today, and we hope to see you at future webinars.